basic concept is that supposedly, say Infosys has entered into an agreement with, say, Netflix, right? So now Netflix requires ongoing IT solutions from Infosys. Okay, in this case, there is no one particular service that is being provided by Infosys to Netflix. Okay, Netflix wants to hire Infosys for an ongoing delivery of services. This could be essentially project based, or it could be a one-time agreement that is going on for a number of years. When there is an ongoing nature of services, right, I'll explain. When, say for example, Netflix and Infosys have entered into an agreement, Netflix wants Infosys to be their one-stop IT solution provider, wherein they are entering into an agreement for an ongoing delivery of various kind of IT services that Infosys wishes to deliver to Netflix. In that case, is it feasible for the clients or the parties to execute a service agreement for each such service that is being delivered by Infosys to Netflix? No, it creates unnecessary agreement hassles, right? There is way too many agreementation for a simple, for a simple transaction wherein all the other conditions are intact except the each particular service and the pricing for the same that is being given. So for example, Infosys is to give them a cloud-based software where they can store all their files, or it is to give them say a software maintenance service, or Infosys can also give them say repair and maintenance services on their existing softwares, right? So now for all these varied kind of services that Netflix wants from Infosys, a master service is executed. The details of all the possible services and so on that Netflix could require from Infosys is listed down. The terms and conditions for the transaction is listed down in terms of confidentiality, IP, in terms of dispute resolution, in terms of governing law, etc. Where does statement of work come in? Say today Netflix wants Infosys to give them a cloud-based server for them to store the files. For this particular service, instead of amending the master service agreement or creating a brand new one, a statement of work will be executed. The statement of work is like a subset of the MSA or the child or subsidiary document of the parent document, which is the master service agreement. For each such service that is being given to the service acquirer, in this case Netflix, a statement of work will be executed with only specifying the details of the services, the pricing for the same, and the date of delivering such services, right? Nothing else will change. The statement of work will be governed exactly how the master service agreement is being governed, right? The only thing that is being executed in that is basically the terms and the details about the services that are being presently required. So imagine if in the next year Netflix wants Infosys to create for them a software, and also participate in the maintenance of such software. For this, instead of executing a brand new master service, they will execute a statement of work which falls within the master service. So the statement of work will be governed exactly by the terms of the master service, except now we have to just modify the nature of services being given, the payment for the same, and the delivery date for the same, right? Only these specifications will change. Of course, it is binding. It is okay. A statement of work can be enforced as an independent contract as well, right? A statement of work is executed when both parties have signed on it. So if one of the parties, say if Infosys breaches the terms of a statement of work, it will definitely be enforced against the dispute mechanism mentioned under the MSA. Yes, so it is definitely a binding contract. It can be independently enforced. Okay, so now that the concept between MSA, a statement of work, and how they are correlated between each other is understood, we can go forward. Right? Okay, so here again, what is a master service? At its most basic, it is a contract between two or more parties that establishes the terms and conditions that will govern all the current and future activities and responsibilities. So the master service, the terms and whatever information is given in the master service will be governing all the future statement of works that will be executed between the parties, right? The statement of work is a very small document, a 5-pager document where only the services, the payment terms, delivery date, and specifications of the client are mentioned. Everything else, your IP, confidentiality, governing law, jurisdiction, will all be governed as per the master service agreement. Okay. Okay, before I go further, can anybody tell me the difference between a distribution agreement and a service agreement, or a vendor agreement and a service agreement? Yes, guys, in the chat. Goods and service, exactly. Right. One is for goods and the other is for services. Exactly. Correct. Now see, the kind of relationships that can be created from a master service agreement are 3 types. First one being that of a consultant. For example, Infosys will be a consultant for Netflix if they are only coming to them for advisory work. Then the other kind of relationship that can be created is that of an independent contractor, where the service provider behaves as an independent contractor to the client. And the third and the most rare one is the employee-employer agreement. Okay. Sabhya, how is a collaboration agreement different from a MSA? Okay, a collaboration agreement does not entail, it is not regarding the relationship between a service provider and a client, right? But it could be, if that is how they want to collaborate, it could be, but it is really not. The nature of the relationship that is given to rise through a MSA is that of a client and a service provider. Okay, a collaboration agreement is when 2 parties are coming together to collaborate and create something out of that. Okay, both parties are on equal footing in that case. For a master service, that is not the case. A service provider is always the person with most responsibility and most obligations, as compared to the person seeking such services, right? So it is definitely not the same as a collaboration agreement. Now, can we see a consultancy agreement with company where firms recruit certain class of employees for the company? Can we see a consultancy agreement with the company where there are firms recruiting certain class of employees for the company? Yes, absolutely, because that firm is again delivering a service to the company, which is recruiting candidates for that entity's functioning, right? So that itself will create a master service agreement. Now, next slide please, Mehul. I will explain to you the joint venture agreement when we have the concept class on joint venture. Lakshmana, right? Let's not incorporate new agreements into the class discussion, okay? So as you can see on the screen, what are some of the examples of a master service agreements? Like, what are basically the type of services and the nature of those that can create a master service agreement? You have Amazon and purchasers. So for the terms and conditions governing your purchase from Amazon's marketplace will always be the same. But every time you place a new purchase order, it creates a new statement of work, right? So an agreement between Amazon and purchasers who place purchase orders perpetually on the same contractual terms. If you read through the website's terms and conditions policy, you will see exactly what are the terms that govern all your purchase orders from Amazon, right? Then you have Google Play and the payment gateways, where the gateways provide services from time to time for various applications, right? Again, every time you make a payment through your GPay or your phone pay, the terms for that transactions are always the same, but every new transaction will act as a separate statement of work. These are all automated, so you never find yourself signing or executing a document, right? But the kind of work that you are going to approach for, they will all have, manual agreementation that needs to be signed and executed every time that, a new order or a new service requirement is placed. Okay, right? Okay, now local manufacturers and distributors, these agreements are executed by traditional statements of work over a longer term of the contract. So as we just said, every purchase order that is created between a distributor, supplier, manufacturer creates a brand new statement of work. Okay, right. And why is it called the master service? Because it controls the subsidiary agreements executed in succession, right? Right. So as the slide asks, can you name a few more examples where